Like, well, we're gonna have to work. I sparred my friend again. This time was a different story. I made him cry. I was like, see, I can do this, Dad. And I was just like, I want to be a champion.
The winner and new champion, Timothy Bradley.
We looked at each other and was just like, we did it. You know, my team and I, my father, you know, he's always been there in my career. He's my hero, basically. Boxing taught me self-control and discipline. My bond with my family has always been strong, but boxing made it stronger.
So coming up next, it's our main event, a compelling matchup between two bright young talents, each laying his championship belt on the line. The winner goes home with both titles. The loser goes home empty-handed. Well, not since Costa Tszyu met Zab Judah in 2001 has there been such an anticipated title unification at 140 pounds. That night, Costa Tszyu stamped himself as one of the pound-for-pound greats, and these two young champions are anxious to take that step to the next level. Al and Bradley versus Holt. You have East versus West, contrasting styles and contrasting body types.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you can add one more contrast in terms of their stylistic approach to fights, because Kendall Holt is more likely to show us different personalities in the ring. He may be a boxer-puncher using his jab and movement, or he can be a hell-bent for leather attacker at times. Tim Bradley, though certainly not one-dimensional, is committed to a more consistent approach in which he executes very well and tries to make his opponent adjust to him. With that in mind, Bradley should stay true to his style, fight at a steady pace each round, and use smart pressure. Part of this is working the body in every round. This might be his ticket to a win tonight. And he'll need to unleash his best power punch, the right hand, which works to the head or the body. He often uses a double jab, two straight jabs, to set up the right hand. The Bradley jab, of course, is an important part of everything he will do in this fight. And in this case, he will land the right hand to the body. And of course, he's a superb body puncher. This kind of combination will be a staple of Bradley's attack tonight. Winning the battle of the jabs is important in this match. Holt's height and reach advantage may help him do this. Kendall is a risk taker. He should be measured, though, in which ones he chooses to take tonight. His hook is a potentially big difference maker in this match. He often starts with a left hook to the body, and then, after he lands this punch, he will follow with an overhand right. This combination signals Holt's aggressive moments in this fight.
Tim Bradley has walked virtually a straight line to this World Championship unification fight with his father, Ray Bradley Sr., at his side the entire way.
You know, this young man has a single-mindedness of purpose about every single thing he does. A lot of that instilled by his dad, who was a high school security officer. He has a direct and disciplined approach to everything, Gus, and that's the way he's approached his career and his life.
You're absolutely right. Focused, determined, and committed to achieving greatness. Timothy Bradley plans on seizing the moment and taking a quantum leap forward to an even bigger stage with a win this evening here in Montreal.
One guy inside. He's got to go red.
So the Desert Storm, Timothy Bradley from Palm Springs, California, undefeated, ready for the fight of his life against this man. If Bradley has walked a straight line for Kendall Holt, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Yeah, not just the personal travails which we saw chronicled, but also in the ring. In his first chance at a title against Ricardo Torres in South America on Torres' home turf, ended up losing a fight while amidst a torrent of debris being thrown in the ring in a controversial decision. Had to win the title back after being knocked down, or win the title by being knocked down twice in a fight and then coming back, and then having the third fight with Torres derail at the last minute and having other issues with his manager being arrested. He's had so many things that have happened to him in his boxing career, but here's the thing about Kendall Holt. He comes back from everything.
Left without a mother for his formative years and the product of an abusive father, Kendall Holt has had to navigate through life by figuring things out on his own. Tonight, he has complete control of his destiny. A win this evening will allow this single father to give his boys the childhood that he never had. So let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. Bradley Holt.
You look at the height and reach advantage of Kendall Holt. He said that will be important if I use it. So if he can box effectively against Bradley, those physical advantages may well help him.
So here at the Bell Center in Montreal, we're ready for our main event. Timothy Bradley versus Kendall Holt. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bell Center here in beautiful Montreal for the featured bout of the evening. Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à l'attraction principale de la soirée. All night. Well, fans, our World Unification title bout is brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, and Thompson Boxing Promotions in association with Gillette Entertainment Group and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBC, President Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Dr. Robert Carnes, the WBO, President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor John Duggan, and the RACJ Combat Sports Section, the Chief Richard Renault. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Pierre Monnier and Dr. Marc Gagne. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, Andre Bouchard and Andre Huard. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, les juges pour ce combat. From Canada, Richard Dacarufel. From Puerto Rico, Raul Nieves. And from Canada, Jack Woodburn. And our third man to the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, from Canada, Michael Griffin. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBC and WBO 140-pound championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, mesdames et messieurs, en direct de Montréal, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, on my right, the WBO title holder in the blue corner, dans le coin bleu. Wearing silver trunks with yellow trim, he is fighting out of Paterson, New Jersey, in the United States. He weighed in at 140 pounds. His record stands at 25 wins, 2 losses, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the second defense of his title. Here is the WBO Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, introducing Kendall, rated R. Holt. And his opponent across the ring, the WBC title holder in the red corner, dans le 58.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 23 wins, no losses, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he also is making the second defense of his title. Please welcome the undefeated WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the world, known as the Desert Storm, introducing Timothy Bradley.
Right, baby, you got this. You got this, baby. This is you.
Once again, a referee in charge, Michael Griffin, now to give instructions.
All right, gentlemen, you both received my instructions in the dressing room.
You ready to see this heart? Let me know if you're ready.
Let's go.
You ready to see this heart?
Any questions from Kendall's corner?
There you go, baby.
Any
You're gonna get hurt, boy.
questions?
Go, boy. That's what it is, baby.
It's a fight.
Remember, you gotta
It's a
listen to my instructions.
That's what we do.
You gotta protect yourselves at all times. Remember to protect yourself. Obey my commands.
You're gonna get hurt.
This is good. This is good. I want you to touch gloves now, gentlemen. We're boxing at the bell. God bless both of you. Touch gloves, fellas. Touch gloves.
All right, we've got an East Coast, West Coast brawl.
Kendall
Bad
Holt.
boy death roll.
Yeah.
Match up in the early 90s.
Kendall Holt trying to, I think, do some mind games with Bradley, and Bradley responding in kind.
So here we go. Round number one, the unified WBC WBO 140-pound championship. Timothy Bradley in the Montreal Canadian red, white, and blue trunks. From Palm Springs, California, Holt from Patterson, New Jersey in the silver and gold.
You know, I want to go back to that moment when Holt tried to get under Bradley's skin. For the most part, during this lead up to this fight, it's been pretty fairly cordial. Holt even told us, I'm a fan of Tim Bradley's. How could you not like him? I think he wanted Bradley to rush him. He wants Bradley to be as aggressive as possible because Holt thinks he can land the counter left hook and hurt him. We'll see if that happens.
Holt with that classic East Coast trash talk, trying to get Timothy Bradley to lose his composure, make him unable to control his emotions. So far, it has not worked. Timothy Bradley, another heat in the kitchen fighter. He's going to come at you from the opening bell. He's not a big puncher, only 11 KOs, 25 years old, but he will work all 12 rounds.
Bradley going to the body early. We showed you the right hand from outside to the body in our keys to victory, and he repeated that sequence right there. So that's clearly what he wants to try and do. And the jab, I mentioned it in the keys. Look at Holt. He's trying very hard to establish that jab.
Holt stepping off. He'll counter punch, turn. He's got sneaky power in his right hand and a very good, as you mentioned, Al, left hook. His jab very effective when he uses it.
Yeah, even he acknowledges that he probably doesn't use it as much as he should, but he's accurate with it when he does throw it.
You can really snap the jab. Tight, high defense for Holt. Here's a young man that grew up. Oh, a left hook! He stretched him in the first round with the left hand, and Bradley, he'll take the knee and try to collect himself. We told you Holt had sneaky power.
Let me see.
Nothing sneaky about that. Bradley's in trouble. 44 seconds to go.
What presence of mind by Tim Bradley, though, to go back, take a knee, and make sure he composed himself. Wow, did that left hook land for
And
Kendall
Bradley
Holt.
is tentative now. Holt working his way in.
Step back. That's okay. That's good. Step back.
He's the bigger, harder puncher. Another left hook. Bradley has to tie him up. He has wobbly legs in the center of the ring.
Bradley's big mistake is he is trading left hooks with Kendall Holt. That is a mistake for him.
10 seconds remaining in the first round. Electricity here in Montreal. And Bradley may get out of the round, and he does. Wow. R-rated.
Push your foot. Okay. Too close. Come on, relax. Touch Talk to me. How you feel, baby? Okay. I want you to be a little bit more careful. Okay? You're getting a little
We will
reckless
take
in
a
there,
couple
all
of
right?
looks at this extraordinarily quick knockdown of Bradley. Good right hand by Bradley, but he throws a left hook, tries to throw a left hook, squares himself up against Kendall Holt, gets nailed with almost Holt's perfect left hook. Here comes the hook. What's staggering to me is that Bradley was able to get up so quick and compose himself. Brandon Jacobs, the friend of Kendall Holt, let's listen to his reaction. You'd think that Eli Manning just threw a touchdown pass. He was so excited.
Round number 2. Let's see how Bradley adjusts now. He's a man that loves to come forward. Does he have the courage to continue to move in the direction of Holt? Now Holt snapping that jab to start the second round.
Now let me tell you something about as bad as that first round went for Bradley. He took the best left hook you can possibly get from Kendall Holt. He got up from it. So while that was a bad thing, he may realize that he can take the best that Holt has to offer. We'll see. But Tim Bradley is throwing his punches too wide. He is trading hooks with Holt, and he is not staying within himself and applying smart pressure, as he said.
The only reason Bradley able to get up off his feet after that left hook is because he is an incredibly well-conditioned athlete.
You're absolutely right, Gus. And that saved him.
Uppercut, left hook landing again for Holt.
Now that's what Tim Bradley needs to do. Work that body and throw those combinations.
But Holt's strategy thus far, classic counterpuncher, stepping off the line, throwing multiple shots.
That last wild left hook of Tim Bradley is exactly his issue early in this fight. He's throwing that punch and providing openings for Kendall Holt. Kendall Holt being very smart in taking advantage of that, obviously, and landing the big left hook. And Holt has also established his jab a little bit in this fight, too.
He misses with the lead uppercut. Hands high, though, for Holt. That left hook for Bradley.
Bradley slaps with his left hook. Look how Bradley's squaring himself up to Kendall Holt. That is creating issues for him.
And that's what the Holt camp told us. They feel that because Bradley has so much amateur experience, he doesn't sit down on his punches. He's kind of a pity-pat fighter when they get inside.
Hold down, fellas. Let's go.
Yeah, he's not setting down on his punches.
Holt, though, sitting down on his punches, so relaxed, easy going for Kendall Holt here in the second round. Great head movement, light on his feet, supreme confidence. Took umbrage at the fact that he's the underdog and a champion. Now he steps off. Come find me, he says. I'm here.
Kendall Holt using all of this ring, which is exactly what he wants to do, of course, and looking for what he thinks will be his next opportunity to land a big counterpunch. Bradley's done a lot of work in this round, and that's good for him.
Bradley rolling that head now, getting out of the way of that left hook. He slips in the middle of the ring. Bradley backs up a little bit, and that's the end of the second round. Fireworks.
Trying to get back into the fight. Any close round they want to give him. Kendall.
The story of that knockdown was very, very intriguing because Tim Bradley was able to land a little sneaky right hand on the inside because that's a punch he wants to get in. He gets in a beautiful right, but decides to throw a wide left hook. That was his mistake. The right hand came down, and then Kendall Holt was able to land the left hook. Had Bradley not thrown that hook and squared himself up as he did, he would not have been hit with that left hook by Kendall Holt. Two big mistakes by Bradley.
Take it down, let's go.
Bradley trying to suck it up.
Take it down.
He comes in with a perfect 23-0 record, 11 KOs. Round 3 scheduled for 12. to unify the WBO and WBC 140-pound championships. The winner of this fight puts himself into contention to possibly fight a Ricky Hatton, to possibly fight a Floyd Mayweather Jr. who's training right now. Now Bradley with a nice left hand that grazes the top of Holt's head. Also Manny Pacquiao could be an opponent. Holt going back to his jab. Knocked down Bradley with the left hook in the first round. Bradley continuing to come. Now the body shots, the right hook to the body, behind the elbow. That'll get Holt to dropping his hands.
You know, Bradley's doing more work in this fight. He's throwing more punches, probably landing more as well. Probably round 2 is Bradley's round. But you get the feeling that the way he's fighting, the way he's kind of opening himself up, that Holt's going to land another big counterpunch.
Break, let him go. No punches, fella, no punches.
And for Kendall Holt, he's got to continue to fight big, Al.
Let him go.
That's exactly right, Gus. You couldn't be more correct. He's got to make sure he fights tall and keeps the jab out there and sees the openings as they come.
Break, no punches, no punches.
Left hook blocked to the body by Tim Bradley. Bradley composed, takes the right hand, slips the left hook. Finding his rhythm now as he continues to come forward. He told us he wants to take Holt into the deep waters. Constant pressure, but not reckless, because he feels that if he can get him into the 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds, he'll lose his concentration.
Yeah, that's the key for Bradley, to keep up this pressure. But Tim Bradley's making a monstrous mistake at times in this fight. He is squaring himself up to Holt and giving Kendall Holt some opportunities to land another big shot. He really needs to stop doing that.
3rd of 12. Holt now not as active. Trying to pick his shots instead of moving his hands.
Bradley's had himself a good 3rd round here, as he did a good 2nd round. He's punching more, he's landing good body shots like that right hand.
You see Holt's hands now starting to come down a bit, especially that left hand. He'll be susceptible to a big right hand can opener if he's not careful as this fight continues. Bradley loves to throw that can opener right hand. End of the 3rd round.
Coming up in weight is Nate Campbell, former IBF, WBA, and WBO lightweight champion who's now at 140, along with Joanne Guzman, another champion from a lower weight. But this man, Nate Campbell, could be a big player as well in the 140-pound division, and there are a lot of people in this talent-rich 140-pound area.
Campbell at 140 pounds, ranked 4th in the WBC, 4th in the IBF. Round 4, scheduled for 12. This is a unification fight. WBC, WBO, belts on the line at 140 pounds. Kendall Holt from Patterson, New Jersey in the silver and gold. Tim Bradley from Palm Springs, California in the red, white, and blue. And so far, how do you have this fight scored?
Well, I have Tim Bradley ahead in this match because I gave him 2 of the rounds. No, excuse me, I have it even, 28-28, because of the knockdown in round 1.
Kendall Holt knocking down Bradley with a big left hook, putting him flat on his back. But since then, he's been inactive. And Bradley has found his rhythm. Looks like a headbutt.
Break, no punches, no punch, don't push him, don't push him. Okay, watch your heads, both of you watch your heads in there.
Tim Bradley remains committed to the body work, and that is very important for him in these early stages. That will help create what he believes will be that lack of focus by Kendall Holt, and also slow him down later in the fight. Holt now trying to be a little bit more aggressive in this, wanting to push Bradley back.
Ooh, nice stiff jab by Holt. Bradley answers with a stiff jab of his own. The jab is the key for Holt. He's got to throw it more often to keep Bradley away from him. Bradley, great head movement. as he steps off the line that time.
Bradley using his jab a lot more. Bradley now getting in that habit now again of throwing that hook and opening himself up to Holt. He just got hit with the right hand. This is a counter puncher he's in there against, and Kendall Holt has power and can counter punch. Tim Bradley is just living on the edge right now, even if he might be winning these rounds.
Break now, break.
Fourth round.
Let's go.
Scheduled for 12. Kendall Holt continuing to back up. He said he would put pressure on Bradley if need be. But if Bradley, true to form, continues to come at him, he'll step back and pick his poison.
Break. No, you can't.
You know, Gus, that body work by Bradley, though, very, very good. And that has really been, for him, the difference. And I think has let him win some of these rounds.
Looks like Holt may have a cut over his right eye. Another left hook getting in for Kendall Holt.
You know, Bradley, to his word, I mean, he was knocked down with a monstrous left hook that could have ended this fight. He has still continued with the pressure on Kendall Holt.
Every time Holt goes to that jab, it backs Bradley right up.
Watch your head, watch time. Watch your head, okay? Keep your head up there. You all right? Okay.
Kendall Holt, that cut is bothering Kendall Holt a lot. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of blood from him, but it is bothering him.
Time!
Did that cut come from a clash of heads? We're going to see in a moment or two.
When you backing them up with the jab, tight D. Tight D. Right here. Did I got that jab working?
Here's where, early in the round, their heads came together. Now that time, that looked on the other side, so I don't know that caused the cut, but Holt complaining about it. Then Tim Bradley throwing a nice flurry, but squaring himself up right in front of Holt, and that's why Holt was able to land the right hand. And yet another clash of heads. Bradley kind of initiating that one, and Holt very distressed about it.
Take it down, let's go, man.
Well, that's Tim Bradley's style. He's the shorter fighter, and he's trying to get in at only 5'6". He has the shorter reach, 69-inch reach. To Holt's 71-inch reach.
Yeah.
So he's got to do what he can to get close. He wants to touch him to the body.
Break! No punches. One punch inside. Go, Bucks.
Round number 5 scheduled for 12 to unify the WBC and WBO 140-pound belts.
And Tim Bradley never down as either an amateur or a pro, put down in the very first round by Kendall Holt. What resolve that he got up at that point and was able to get himself right back into this fight. Now, we have seen no word.
No, watch your heads. You both put your heads in there. Keep your head up. Watch out.
As referee Michael Griffin gives them caution about that, we've seen no word from him as to whether that cut was caused by a clash of heads or a punch, and we're endeavoring to find out. That makes a big difference.
Break! No punches!
Holt's keeping his hands very high now.
According to officials here, there was no signal of a clash of heads.
Now,
we gotta keep that up, all right?
very interesting strategy. Holt to offset. Bradley coming in with his head has started to hit him low. That'll back him off for a little bit. He hit him low twice in this round.
This fight is an intriguing one right now because you can feel Tim Bradley's pressure and the roughhouse tactics affecting Kendall Holt, but Tim Bradley is still susceptible to those big counterpunches by Holt.
You can see Holt now trying to set him up with a right hand. Bradley bringing that left jab down, a
Stop punching.
left jab back, and it's down just a little bit. Bradley trying to load up that right hand if he can time it.
I think when Kendall Holt looks back at this tape, he will be a little annoyed at himself for not using that jab more in these early rounds. When he uses it, it's so effective.
Watch Bradley's left jab when he brings it back. Those double hooks blocked.
Holt is using, there's the jab again by Kendall Holt. So effective, but hard to discourage Tim Bradley.
A lot of heavy punches, ineffective punches by Bradley.
Back. No punches.
Being
no
blocked
punches.
by Holt.
No punches.
Holt very relaxed in the ring. 20 seconds to go. Blocked again, the left hook.
Break. No, I don't do two little shots. Let's go. 10 seconds, folks.
And that's the end of the 5th round. Let's go into
Sit down, baby.
Timothy Bradley's corner.
Okay.
He's trained by Joel Diaz.
That's fine. Hey, that's fine. But you were in control. Am I still in control? Yeah. You're still in control. You're controlling the fight. You're doing good. Timmy, you're doing real good. Right? I just want you to focus a little more on your inside, on the sides. Okay, on the sides. Remember, the right goes right in the middle. He's just trying to counter you. That's why he's waiting for you to throw. Once in a while, make him throw, make him fall, and shoot. Okay? You're smart. You can do that. You can break till he come with something. Block, boom, check hook. You know what I mean? Don't get lazy when he starts. Because listen, if you start dropping his hand, he'll jab hand come over the top with his right hand. So look, make sure you get away, motherfucker, because you know he likes to bring that overhand right. Touch him with the stick, up, down. Touch him, up. Make the jab go different. Touch his shoulder and everywhere. With his mouth, please give me.
Start of round 6. Araz Gist is the trainer for Kendall Holt. Timothy Bradley being asked by Joel Diaz to make Holt go first, but that goes against his nature.
Well, you know, they want Bradley to sometimes let him get off, but I thought Araz Gist was really interesting. You know, he said the jab is the key to winning this fight, and he's trying to remind his man to throw that darn punch.
Watch your heads, man. Watch your heads. That was your head.
Bradley is opening himself up so wide open, and Holt just barely missing with those counter punches.
Bradley, more than anybody, understands what's on the line. He has an opportunity with the win tonight to take a leap into the deep waters with some of the great 140-pounders in the world. And that would mean big money fights. Left hook good by Holt.
And a right hand by Bradley landed. I don't think Tim Bradley, and he's not a monstrous puncher, is hurting Kendall Holt with his power punches, because he's landed 2 or 3 excellent right hands.
And the Holt camp told us that they were not afraid of Bradley's punches because he doesn't sit down on it. Quite often, when you have 145 amateur fights, you're trying to impress judges at the amateur level by keeping your hands busy.
And that's what Tim Bradley does. But that stuff right there, a couple of those body punches landed, and Tim Bradley is active, and he does keep pressure on you. And so it's an accumulative kind of a thing. He's had a good round, Bradley.
But as we get into the deeper waters, as Bradley pushes Holt back to the ropes, the question is, can Holt keep his focus, keep his concentration? He quite often loses focus and his concentration in the middle rounds. He looks like he's dialed in, though, for this one. But we're only in the 6th.
Kendall Holt's work rate is just so low right now. Now, the cut's not a major issue because it's not bleeding. And Kendall Holt, you mentioned it before, Gus, the key is for him to fight tall and keep his technique. His technique's going a little south on him here in this round.
Uppercut gets through for Holt. And the reason that he isn't fighting tall right now is because he refuses to use his jab. He's got a popping, stinging jab when he throws it.
Bradley got a warning for keeping his punches up, and that's about the 2nd warning. So if he goes low again, he may have a point deducted.
Inactivity here by Holt. No jab. Closing seconds of the 6th round, scheduled for 12. Timothy Bradley starting to put rounds together.
You okay? You all right?
Give me the mouth. Where's the mouthpiece?
Give me a deep breath.
Get us cut.
The jab of Tim Bradley used as a weapon to get the right hand home. Just what we suggested he would try and do in this fight. Setting it up. There comes the right hand. Now, he gets his left hand up this time to block the left hook of Holt. Remember, earlier in the fight, he left his hands low and got hit with that left hook. So there's an indication that he's at least aware of some of the problems.
Tim Bradley making an adjustment. He's coming off a 12-round decision against Edner Cherry in his last fight in September of 08. Cherry moving up from lightweight for the opportunity. He dropped him in the 8th round with an overhand right. Fight taking place in Biloxi, Mississippi.
The irony of this, that, you know, Kendall Holt's been down 8 times in his career, Bradley never once, and Bradley's the one that goes down early, and yet Bradley gets up and now is kind of controlling the pace of this fight. So in a way, Araz Gist and Holt were right. Maybe Holt is the bigger puncher, but he just isn't able to land as much as they want him to, and enough of those big punches, at least not right now.
The punches up, Kendall.
Kendall Holt starting to swing for the fences. Uppercut gets through. Right hand landing on the top of the head by Bradley. Bradley in the red, white, and blue from Palm Springs, California. Kendall Holt in the silver and gold from Patterson, New Jersey. Holt, a young man that grew up without his mother. She spent over 15 years in a women's correctional facility because of manslaughter. She was addicted to drugs. He then moved in with his father, who was abusive, and the children were taken away. So he grew up pretty much on his own. He now raises his young son, who's 5.5 years old, trying to provide for him the childhood that he never had. Meanwhile, Timothy Bradley, nice body shot. Doubles up the body shot, and that hurt Kendall Holt.
And I think that was a legal one. Both men have landed a lot of low blows. That one by Tim Bradley was legal. Tim Bradley's a great body puncher. We talked about it, and he's been committed to that all the way through this fight. He's making a difference with those body shots.
Watch your heads, guys.
That last left hook to the body took something out of Kendall Holt. He's not moving as much now. Those body shots right at the top of the belt line. That'll take all the gas out of the tank. Holt's in trouble now. He's starting to lose his focus.
We said it at the beginning. The body punching for Bradley was a key element. He's been committed to it right along.
Bradley, heat in the kitchen from the beginning. Even though he ate a left hook that sent him down for the first time in his career in the first round. Nice jab by Bradley. And now he's starting to chop down the taller Kendall Holt. Holt looking over to his corner, refusing to throw shots.
Kendall Holt now in a very defensive posture, and his hands are very, very low.
Round 7 coming to an end.
Time, fellas.
Let's go. Tiffin, tell him which way he's got to come. Let's go.
This was the round in which Bradley's body work started to take its toll and make a real impact. We see him work downstairs, and that just above the belt line. And that had an impact. And then he keeps ripping downstairs. And you see the grimace as he lands those rights to the body by Kendall Holt. And then later on, he was in the round, he was able to come up to the head. A punch that's dangerous for him, but it ended up landing, was the left hook by Bradley. There's the good jab. And a solid punch by Bradley.
Second down.
The Bell Center in Montreal, Canada. Site of the unification fight between this man, Timmy Bradley, and Kendall Holt. 140-pound championship. The WBC, WBO belts are on the line. Left hook, clean. by Holt as we start the 8th round.
And I have Tim Bradley ahead in this fight, 68-64. There were a couple of very close rounds in there, so it could certainly be closer than that, but he has started to take control of this fight in the last few rounds. Oh, that's a wicked left hook downstairs.
Backs up Holt.
The 25-year-old Bradley, if anything, is in danger during his training camp of overtraining. Joel Diaz's trainer was brothers Julio and Antonio, both great pros, and Joel himself, an excellent professional in the gym there in the Coachella area, says that Tim Bradley just doesn't stop training. He said, I have to beg him to stop. So it's a young man who has got some conditioning, and now he's landing those big right hands.
Stop those shots on the inside.
He told us he wanted to go to the body slowly.
Box.
He's in the best shape of his life. He said, I feel like a smaller Floyd. As we take a look round by round, past the 7th.
You see both men are very good. Neither has lost in 12 rounds. Holt is 4-0 and Bradley's 2-0. So later on in fights, they're accustomed to winning. But unless there's a draw, one man's going to add a loss there.
So interesting when you look at Kendall Holt, though. He is so much more effective when he jabs.
Yeah,
the fight is so easy for him, but he refuses to do it.
Yeah, you're right, Gus. You really are. You know, and he and his people time. That one was a little low again by Bradley. Will there be a point deducted? He's thinking about it, Michael Griffin.
All right? Okay, keep him up. You got to keep up. I know what happened. I saw it. Let's go. Keep him up. Box.
Timothy Bradley feels that Kendall Holt will not stay focused from round 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. That's when he wants to put in major work. We're in round number 8. Holt starting to get weak. The aggressive style of Bradley paying dividends now.
A loss of balance there, but that was partially because of the fact that his legs aren't really under him, Kendall Holt. Holt's work rate has just not been sufficient in this fight, I think, and that's maybe one of his biggest problems.
Here's a right hand left hook combination by Holt at the end of the round. All set up by the jab.
Spray some water on you. Spray some water. Don't get to the point in which you're feeling heavy on your arms. Okay, keep them up. Stay low. See how nice it is when you step back and you let him throw. He can't catch you. You're too smart, man. Okay. You're too fast on your feet. Okay? You want to take a little break, that's fine. But you gotta stay busy. Okay. Okay? How you
Bradley with a left hand that ended up low. He's had a number of these, as has Holt. There's one. It's right on the belt line, but he was kind of bringing it up, and his argument to the referee was my head was being pushed down, and that's what created the low punch, and Michael Griffin kind of acknowledging that. Then Kendall Holt with the right hand, and then the the left hook landing as Bradley tried to get the right hand up. That's where Bradley's in a susceptible position, where he's in those exchanges and squaring himself up.
Round 9 scheduled for 12. Tim Bradley in the red, white, and blue from Palm Springs, California. Kendall Holt in the silver and gold from Patterson, New Jersey. The unification fight, WBC, WBO titles on the line. The winner will put himself in a position to a guaranteed $1 million fight somewhere, somehow, with someone. Whether it be a Manny Pacquiao or Ricky Hatton, maybe a Floyd Mayweather who's back in the ring training and should be coming out of retirement.
Right, come on.
This fight has had, I think, big uppercut by Holt. Counter uppercut.
But Bradley comes right through it.
What's your head is done? What's your head is done?
His conditioning, spectacular. He's a vegan, which means he does not eat, not only does he not eat meat, he doesn't eat any kind of food that has ever been derived from something with eyes, from any kind of animal.
Yeah, when he's training for fights, he sticks strictly to that. And he feels it gives him even more energy. Some other fighters in the past have gone vegan or at least vegetarian, which is slightly different, to get ready for fights.
Oh, a right hand. And that may stagger.
They banged heads as well while all that was happening. And it looks like, thankfully, nobody's cut. And a reminder that in the second fight against Ricardo Torres, one of the things that saved Kendall Holt was that his head hit Torres and got him in trouble, and then he landed a right hand. And without that clash of heads, I don't know that Kendall Holt is standing there tonight in a title unification match.
He was down early in that fight, twice to Torres. The second time he fought him. Torres took him into deep waters the first time in Colombia. Holt had him in trouble, but in the end, Torres managed to rally. The fight was stopped. It was a controversial ending as well.
Yeah, that was controversial, and Holt was ahead on the scorecards when it happened. Holt has been more active in this 9th round and maybe has won this round.
Here's the jab. Always backing up Bradley when it's thrown by Kendall Holt. 6 seconds to go in the 9th round. Left hook, right hand by Kendall Holt, and that's the end of the round.
And you see what I mean? Do you understand what I'm telling you now? Now you understand what I'm telling you. That's what I'm asking. You keep taking this kid backwards, Kendall. You keep taking his ass backwards with the jab. He's gonna freeze, and when he freezes, that's when you react with combination. I need you to listen. I need you to steal a page out of his book. And you know what I'm about to tell you? Boom, 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 boom. Let's do what the fuck we do. We have to win back.
Here's where the clash of heads took place. And that one, you know, Holt kind of moved in, and their heads came together as Bradley was throwing the jab, and obviously it affected both men. A look at it, and you can see how their heads banged, and thankfully nobody got cut. That's happened about 4 or 5 times in this fight. That and punches below the belt have drawn some warnings, and we're heading for 10.
That's right, Tim Bradley, very awkward fighter. Low center of gravity at only 5'6". Leans forward a lot. And as Kendall Holt's trainer, Araz Gis, told him, do what we do, which means you back him up every time you use your jabs. Bradley answering Holt's jab that time. Now look at Holt trying to double up the jab, and that'll back up Bradley. Into Holt's jab, very heavy and snapping.
And Araz Gis pointing out, when they say take a page from Bradley, what they want is more activity, more punches from Kendall Holt, and the jab is a big part of that. See, he's busy, Bradley. Is it too late for Kendall Holt to win a decision? I don't know. I have him behind by 4 points in this match. It could be a lot closer than that.
This fight got off to an electric start when Holt knocked down Bradley for the first time in his entire career, going back to the amateurs with a left hook in the first round. Remember, Bradley had 145 amateur fights. He was the PAL champ, national champion, also Golden Glove silver medalist.
All right, let's go. Come on, Kendall. That's both of you. I want your head too.
Bradley hitting Kendall Holt behind the head, in the back. I'll tell you what Tim Bradley has done. You know, he's been the rougher guy in there tonight. And I'm not saying Kendall Holt hasn't had his moments, but Tim Bradley has been the rougher guy for the most part, more physical in this fight. And it's affecting Kendall Holt. Ironically, considering that Holt knocked him down with a perfect left hook in round 1. And Gus, when you saw that knockdown right at the moment of impact, did you think, I thought this fight might be over? It was such a perfect punch.
He knocked him down right on his back.
And Bradley bounced up. Good right by Holt, a good hook by Bradley. So both men landing some good power punches.
Timothy Bradley, only 25 years old, so he's young, well-conditioned, so he can take a punch and get back up on his feet, especially when it's that early in the fight.
Bradley very active again in this round. Oh, look at that Holt jab. When he throws it, it's a beauty.
Round 10 coming to an end. Scheduled for 12. There's a nice shot to the body by Holt that backs up Bradley. And fans, boxing has from time to time been in the crossroads of social political issues. Recently, there has been a move for legislation to address a long-standing miscarriage of justice involving one of boxing's greatest champions, Jack Johnson.
Yeah, a resolution unveiled by Senator John McCain and Congressman Peter King for a presidential pardon for Jack Johnson. Of course, Johnson, the first black heavyweight champ in 1908, 1915, was convicted of the Mann Act, which made it illegal to transport women across state lines for immoral purposes. It's widely held that that conviction of Johnson was racially motivated and an effort really to dethrone him. He was forced into exile, ultimately did serve a year in prison, and Johnson family members and the McCain and King are hoping President Obama will sign that pardon after this resolution to right a wrong.
That's right. We applaud Senator McCain and Congressman King for their efforts. Round number 11. Scheduled for 12, the WBC, WBO 140-pound championship. Bradley Holt, our main event.
That little flurry, which they used to call shoe shine in the amateurs, and it's part of Bradley's amateur background and what he still brings to the pros. And Uraz Gis was talking about it. It's not, doesn't do a ton of damage, but it keeps your hands busy for the judges.
Tim Bradley, the WBC super lightweight champion. Kendall Holt, the WBO junior welterweight champion.
The scoring of this fight will be interesting. Bradley has certainly been the busier. Holt has landed some very good punches. When he's chosen to jab, it's been very effective, like there. He has landed some good power punches. It's hard for me to see how the work rate of Kendall Holt has been enough for him to be ahead. There's a hook by Holt. Bradley just chasing him.
Holt turning his back. And Bradley wants to make him pay. Right hand getting through for Bradley as he just lowers his head and punches. Championship rounds here. Deep water. We are in. Let's see. Oh, a nice right hand by Bradley as he turned it over. Holt really backing up now.
That counter left hook of Bradley making Holt miss, and the Bradley jab, which was in mothballs for a couple rounds now, very evident. This fight really, the headline of this fight is the determination of Tim Bradley. He is not a big puncher. He was knocked down for the first time ever in his amateur and pro career, and by a big punch, and yet he has never stopped working in this fight.
And the other headline is after scoring a rocking left hook in the first round, it's the inactivity of Kendall Holt and his refusal to use one of his best weapons, which is his jab. 33 seconds remaining in the 11th. Bradley sneaking in a left hook.
And that was an evidence case where the left hook of Bradley got thrown, and Holt saw the opportunity to counter him, just couldn't get him with the right hand. And Bradley is not squaring himself up as much in these last 4 or 5 rounds and making himself an inviting target as he was early in the fight.
Bradley has gone the distance in 4 of his last 5 fights. And that is the end of the 11th. So here we go, one more round.
you to wake up, baby.
Take a deep breath. Come on. Take a deep breath. This is your last round. Okay.
The right hand of Tim Bradley, which we mentioned, is there's the jab that sets it up, and there's the right that kind of glances off his face, but did land a bit against Kendall Holt. That's the classic combination Bradley wants to use, and there's a counter right hand after Holt got his in. Those are not monstrous rights by Tim Bradley, but they got there.
On the fucking dig this round out like you ain't got no other. You understand? You know what I mean? Like your life depended on it. This is your career right here, okay? You understand me, champ? Okay, look at me. I love you, man. I'll need you to finish this round out like a dog, bro. Body, double head, okay?
Right. Okay. Okay? The second half of the fight, I will tell you. Second half, put it to his ass. But stay low and chin down. Let's go.
Look, come on.
Let's go, Timmy.
Stay low and chin down, says Joel Diaz. Yeah, that's the key.
Joel Diaz, former lightweight contender and brother of former IBF lightweight world champion Julio Diaz. 12th and final round for the WBC WBO unification fight at 140 pounds. The winner of this fight will take home both belts.
I mentioned that neither fighter, when a fight has gone 12 rounds, has ever lost a decision, a 12-round decision. Holt is 4-0, Bradley is 2-0.
Bradley in the red, white, and blue, Holt in the silver and gold.
A reminder about our big hook by Holt as he counterpunches against Bradley. And Araz Gist, you know, suggesting that not as much as saying you need to knock him out or knock him down to win, but kind of suggesting that, saying you've got to have the round of your life. Holt is not coming forward to do that. Still looking for the big counter shot. Remember our text message, our poll, in which 38% said Bradley's speed would be the difference. To some degree, that's true, because he has been quick. But it's been his determination, I guess, which is a more esoteric way to look at it. It's been the big issue for Holt.
A minute and 35 to go in the 12th. The winner to take home both the WBC and WBO belts. Tim Bradley in the red, white, and blue. Holt in the silver and gold. East Coast versus West Coast. It has been.
In Kendall Holt's corner, they are waving for him to come forward. He's not doing it. They feel the urgency, I guess, more than he does. Now, let's say that we do not know how the judges are scoring this fight. So while we think Bradley's probably ahead, doesn't have to be that way.
One thing I will say is that I think Holt has recorded the more powerful punches in this fight.
Probably true.
The more effective punches.
Bradley did such great body work early and has landed some right hands to the head and some hooks and lots of jabs, but Tim Bradley's not a huge knockout puncher, as evidenced by his 11 KOs in 23 fights.
And he was knocked down in the first round, closing moments. Now they go at it. Bradley slipping.
Whoa, look at a knockdown. He may have been in with a punch. Bradley's, oh my.
A standing 8 count to Bradley with 15 seconds to go.
It was hard to tell if it was a punch. Michael Griffin thought it was.
10 seconds. That may change everything.
It'll certainly make this a closer fight, that's for sure.
And that's the end of the fight. As they hug after going 12 hard rounds. But now, this should be very interesting. 2 knockdowns for Kendall Holt, ironically in the first round and in the 12th round.
And the interesting thing about this is that too was, if in fact it was a punch, which we believe it was a right uppercut, was a counter punch again as Tim Bradley came in.
Tim Bradley, undefeated, 23-0. From Palm Springs, California, the WBC Super Lightweight Champion. And there is worry on that 25-year-old's face. Meanwhile, Kendall Holt
Y'all might say the fight for me?
27 years old. 2 knockdowns he's scored. And let's take a look at round 12 and what took place at the end.
Bradley coming in, pressuring, gets hit with an uppercut and a left hook, and, well, I don't know if his knee ever touched. That's a good question. Did his knee or his glove ever touch the mat?
But
he was hit with punches, there's no question, and he did hold on to Kendall Holt.
A clean right uppercut.
The question, I guess, is whether his knee actually ever hit. His glove hit. I believe his glove hit the mat. That would be the only thing that would cause the knockdown. Now, Michael Griffin was right there. If his glove hit, that could have been called a knockdown. We take yet another look and see, nice uppercut landed. He almost went down. His right glove may have scraped the, we're going to see if we can check to see if that glove hit the mat or if his knee hit.
Yes, it did.
The glove did, in fact, hit the mat.
Great work by our camera crew and our production team in the truck to see that. So that was the knockdown in round 12. Let's go to round 1. No doubt about this one.
He bookended this fight, did Kendall Holt. Again, the uppercut actually was a good punch there, and then this perfect left hook. And the staggering thing about this is, look at Bradley get up immediately. Then he thinks about it and says, I'm going to take a knee and I'm going to think about recovering. Really a brilliant maneuver by Tim Bradley that may have helped save this fight for him. And in between round 1 and round 12 and those knockdowns, from our perspective, Tim Bradley outworked Holt. Let's listen here and hear what they're saying.
The WBC, WBO 140-pound championship.
You were wearing there, you know exactly, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to be smart. A lot of times my coach told me to do certain things, but in me it's a little different because I see you, you know what I'm saying? You ready to count it every time, like, it's slick. That's good, that's a gift. You can't teach that, baby. God bless you.
All right, all the talking is over. Let's go inside the ring and get the official decision from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Raul Nieves scores the bout 114 to 112. Judges Richard de Carufel and John Woodburn both score the bout 115 to 111. All three in favor of the winner. He is now the unified WBC and WBO 140-pound champion of the world, Timothy the Desert Storm Bradley.
The thrill of victory. All the hard work paying off for Timothy Bradley. Kendall Holt, despite knocking down Bradley twice, he loses his WBO junior welterweight belt and will have to go back to the drawing board.
Talk to Karen.
An amazingly persistent performance by Tim Bradley to pull this out when bookending knockdowns put him in jeopardy. It was not a totally artistic fight. Neither man, you can say, maybe performed absolutely at their peak, but there was lots of intensity in that ring.
And with the champion, we go to Karen Bryant.
Can you turn around just Thank you very much, Gus. I am here with the champion, Timothy Bradley. Congratulations, Timothy. You're obviously very emotional. Can you put it into words for us?
Man, I just give it all to God. All the glory and honor goes to God, man. Well, you know, I just kept my faith in here, man, and just gave it everything I got. The Lord is so good. He's been so good to me in my career.
Dream come true for you?
Dream come true. Dream come true. You know, I knew one day this day would come. I knew I had to prove myself. I coming off the canvas twice. You know, Kendall's a big puncher. He's a hard hitter, man. But like I said, I prepared myself very well. I give all the glory and honor to God. That's it.
I want to talk about that first round because that was the first time you've ever been on the canvas. How did you process that mentally, and how did you rally yourself to keep going?
Man, I come. What's up, boss? We did it.
Gary Shaw, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I came in tremendous shape. I ran so hard. I mean, I didn't cut any corners in this fight. When I got knocked down, it was like a flash knockout. I got back up. I was a little buzzed, but you know what? I just kept going. I think my conditioning held me up.
Well, you talked about the fact that you wanted to go into the deep rounds. You thought that the conditioning would, in fact, go your way, and so it seems that was the case.
Yeah, it looked to be the case. I mean, I felt good out here. You know, around the 8th round, I started warming up. You know, I got caught in the last round. I was trying to be careful, man. Kendall is real sneaky. He's a crafty fighter. But like I said, I prepared well. You know, I believe in God, and he gave me the victory.
Do you believe now that you'll get some more respect? There's a lot of names at this weight that get more play than you. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Do you think now you're going to get some more respect?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Everybody's seen those knockdowns, so everybody's going to be chasing me now. They think I got a glass chin, but they don't understand how hard Kendall all hits. You know, he's quick. You know, he hits real hard. And, you know, but I got off the canvas, and I kept on, you know, following the game plan, listening to my corner, you know, and I won the fight.
All right. Well, congratulations to you. Champ, Kendall Holt, I'd like to talk with you now. That was a terrific fight. How are you feeling right now? You've faced a lot of adversity in your life, literally and figuratively, a lot of hard knocks. How are you feeling right now?
A little disappointed in myself. I let my corner down, let my fans down. But, you know, I want to thank God that came out here. I'm still able to fight another day. I mean, I feel just a little disappointed.
Yeah, how does this factor into the big picture of your life as far as other disappointments you've had?
Put on a long list of disappointments, add it to the list.
Come back and win again.
Well, yeah. How are you going to regroup? What's next for you as far as getting yourself back in the game?
A rematch.
You want that?
I mean, it was a close fight. I felt like I gave away, you know, a few of the middle rounds by lack of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's part of the game. I mean, I shouldn't have did that. I did it because I thought, you know, I was being a little bit, you know, I was landing a little bit more shots down. But obviously the judge didn't see it that way. So.
Talk to me about the low blows, the headbutts. It seemed that you were getting pretty frustrated. The 7th round, I know you seemed especially frustrated.
I mean, I think that took me out of my game a little bit. But I mean, these things happen in boxing. So what are you gonna do?
All right, well, even though you lost, I have to say it was one of the most beautiful knockdowns I've ever seen in my life. Thanks for a great fight, Kendall.
I appreciate it.
All right, back to you, Gus.
Rematch.
And thank you very much, Karen, as we take a look at the judges' scoring.
Yeah, obviously a fairly close fight. I had it 115-111. It was that knockdown actually that brought him even to the 115-111 point on my card and 2 of the judges.
And press row.
Closer, interestingly, Keith Idek scoring at 114-112. I believe he is a New Jersey writer, but nevertheless, he and in fact, it ends up being a draw on their cards, which is rather intriguing.
Keith Idek, Herald News, the record from Paterson, New Jersey. So, the final results as it officially goes into the record books. A great night of boxing. Labrado Andrade defeats Vitaly Sipko, a unanimous decision, knocked him down 2 times in the 12-round fight.
And for Labrado Andrade, it places him in a title match, one way or the other, for the IBF championship. Just a superb effort by this man.
And in our main event, Tim Bradley, Kendall Holt. Kendall Holt with a unanimous decision to unify the WBC and WBO titles at 140 pounds.
This was a victory born of persistence, conditioning, and will over some lack of artistry in this fight, but Tim Bradley knows where he's going and how to get there.
For more information on all the upcoming Showtime sports events, we invite you to visit our website at sports.show.com. That's sports.show.com. So a great night of boxing here at the Bell Center in Montreal, Canada. First, it was Andrade taking care of Sipko, knocking him down twice in the second round. The first, Andrade, the hard-working Mexican who now trains here in Montreal, will get an opportunity at Lucien Boutet, a rematch of their controversial fight. And in our main event, Tim Bradley defeating Kendall Holt, a unanimous decision. For Al Bernstein, Karen Bryant, and our entire crew, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Montreal.